All right, I've just decided. I think I want to make a part two for this video, just because I think there's still things that I want to talk about, and I feel like I was kind of rushed to try to fit that into 15 minutes, which right now I can't upload videos longer than that. Which I don't know. That's kind of a goal for my YouTube channel. If I get popular enough to where I can upload longer videos, that would be sweet because apparently they're restricting that. It used to be you could just upload however long, like 10-hour videos or whatever, but I guess YouTube ran out of space or something, which is probably clever for them. I guess only people who are creating content um, that is making money for them are those are the only people who are going to be allowed to upload, take up their server space. But anyway, um, I don't know. So I feel like I did a general overview of what I think about the series, but it's hard because there's so much to talk about. I think um, with 8 different seasons, that unless you're talking about like a specific event or character, I don't know. It's hard to just kind of summarize, and I think it gets boring when you're just talking generally about things. But one thing that I was thinking about is I think what makes the show really interesting is you kind of you're put in Dexter's shoes because you're watching it from his perspective, and so you start kind of asking yourself like, what would it be like to live like that, and like how paranoid would I be, just always being on the run and like feeling the guilt of the things that he's done. And then you end up asking yourself the question of like, okay, Dexter kind of justifies his kills as he kills evil people, and in a way he's kind of okay with killing because he's taking out bad people, and he thinks that the people deserve to die. So um, he's getting killers off the street at the same time as he's, I guess, getting his fix. But I guess you start to ask the question of like, if I were put in his shoes and I had the ability to commit a crime like that, like kill someone who I guess has murdered people and who's gonna continue to murder people. If you could stop that, and they were otherwise gonna get away, would you? So it's kind of the old question of like whether you believe in the death penalty, except I guess taking that to the next level. Um, and I don't know, it's just interesting as you get into the show and you really start to get to know Dexter as a character. Um, oh, and by the way, Dexter is played by Michael C. Hall, throughout all the seasons, same actor. And then Deborah, his sister, is played by Jennifer Carpenter. Um, and they both do a really good job. I don't know. I wonder how much acting Dexter has to do to like pull off that sort of character. I don't know. I just wonder like what kind of mindset you have to get into to to look like a normal guy who's kind of hiding in plain sight, but then also be able to like flip the switch into full on like kill mode. Um, but then also, yeah, Jennifer Carpenter, she does a great job. I mean, like early on in this series, I think it started in like the 2000s. It's been a while. It's like an older show, but like she does a really good job in the later seasons, especially this past one, the season 8, which I think they're coming out with a season 9, by the way. But anyway, she does a great job of, like, there are a few parts where she had to be like really emotional, like not figuring out what to do. This is a big spoiler, so yeah, I already gave that warning in the first part of the video, but if you missed it, I'm talking about stuff all the way to season 8. But when she has to decide what to do about knowing about Dexter, and then when she realizes that like she's been in love with him, he's her stepbrother, by the way, so I don't know if that makes it less bad, but yeah, anyway, so she finds out, she kind of like realizes that she has a thing for him, and she tells him, and there's this conversation between them, and like she does such a good job, because in a conversation like that, you can imagine just how awkward it would be, and like she just pulls it off so well. But anyway, the acting from them two is really good and believable. I think that since they're the primary characters throughout the show who you're following and interested in what's going to happen to them, and yeah, that kind of thing, they're that's important, I guess. Cinematically, like the cinematography, the cuts and stuff are good. I wouldn't like, they aren't blowing me away. They aren't like, I don't know. It isn't like every 5 seconds you're like, oh my gosh, what an amazing match cut. But like, I don't know, there will be stuff where like the audio kind of bleeds over from one shot to the next, making it interesting. I forget what that's called. But yeah, anyway, cinematically, it's like a TV show. It's got some good stuff, but it won't blow you away. I was just thinking about something with Deborah. Deborah, in contrast to Dexter, one of the really interesting things about it is she starts off the series as an extremely I think the word that I was going for was idealistic, because I think Deborah's trying to be like the perfect cop and do everything by the book, and she wants everything to be done the right way and just be the best person she can be by the book. Whereas Dexter, on the other hand, will bend the rules, I guess, to I guess it's a different approach to justice, because he wants justice however he has to get it. So if he has to go and kidnap and kill someone to do it, he'll do it. And so I guess they both believe in justice, but they believe in achieving that end by different means. And I think that brings up a good question, because like with other things that I've been listening or watching, like I've been watching Making a Murderer, or I watched the first few episodes of that until it didn't get interesting anymore. But it's about Stephen Avery, who is a guy who is thought to have been wrongfully convicted of a crime, and then getting out of jail 18 years later because they found evidence that he wasn't the one who committed it, and then ended up, okay, this is kind of spoiling that show, but anyway, he ended up in an investigation for another crime after he got out, another murder. And anyway, so it's kind of, I guess, got this theme of what if the criminal justice system is corrupt, and what if they're trying to frame someone then I guess, do you believe that someone should go to jail because the judge and the jury conclude that they should, or if you think that the evidence really points to someone being innocent, do you think they should walk free? And that show's got all kinds of stuff that I don't know, it is difficult to speculate about. But with Dexter, I think it's interesting because like vigilantes are one thing. Like if you have superheroes like in the Avengers who just have powers, and like Spider-Man, for example, he can just go out and like save people, but he doesn't want to, I guess, show who he is, because then, I don't know, it compromises his life and puts the people he loves in danger and that sort of thing. That's like one scenario. But Dexter, I feel like, is different because he believes in justice, even if it means like for him, justice can mean killing someone, like taking a life and passing again that line of what I was talking about with like the death penalty. And I don't know, I think it's a really interesting scenario, and the series does a really good job of making you walk in his shoes. And I don't think I've heard of any other series that does that. I was going through Reddit, and they posted something about like stuff from the antagonist perspective, or from a killer's perspective. People are saying American Psycho, which I've seen, and yeah, I think that fits. But I think he was also, what makes Dexter really interesting in comparison to other stuff like American Psycho or just Psycho, the original. Not that American Psycho is a version of Psycho, but the original Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock, stuff like that, is they, like an American Psycho, he really clearly has like a mental problem. But Dexter is different because he almost isn't even a psychopath. Like, I don't think in the last season they kind of say like, oh, you're a psychopath because of this, and then there's this annoying lady who's like trying to help him. Anyway, I think it's really interesting because Dexter he feels empathy for people, just not the ones he's killing. And in a way, he's no different from a soldier. Like, soldiers go out and kill people because of something they believe in. They believe it's the right thing to do because they're serving their country and that sort of thing. So in a way, Dexter thinks he's serving his country, and he's only killing people who meet the requirements. So he's going against the criminal justice system, which is like being against the law. But in general, you could argue that he's doing good things, and he clearly actually loves like Rita and the kids and Deb, even though he does things that hurt them. I don't know, it's just so interesting to see a character like that who doesn't really seem different from a normal person but does stuff like that. I think that's what really makes the series interesting. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up part 2 there. Just a super interesting. I'm saying the word interesting too much. The show is good, and I think it creates a narrative that is compelling because of the way Dexter's character is especially unique. And I think that's what got me hooked and made me watch the whole thing. So yeah, if anyone else felt the same way, I'd love to chat about it. And if you haven't seen the series and just happen to keep watching through all the spoilers and you still want to go watch it, then you should do that. Heck, buy it on DVD. I saw it was only like $50 for all the seasons or something. So yeah, looking forward to season 9 if it happens. Yeah, thanks.